Good afternoon. My name is Jean Goss. I teach Family Consumer Science at Robert E. Lee High School in Baytown, Texas. And I have just recently been elected to the Board of Directors for FCSTAT in Region 4, District 4. And so I'm making a short video to introduce myself to those in my region and in my district, and going to give you a few tips, a few things that I do after a conference, our professional development conference, and then some things I do to keep in touch with my class and to keep in touch with other teachers. So at this time, what I'd like to do is bring your attention around to I don't know how the rest of you have done, but in the past when I go to conferences, I usually have a ton of paperwork. I put them in one of the nice big bags they give us, and I don't look at them again. And all those cool ideas that I jotted down in notes, and they get lost and I forget about using them. So what I started doing a couple of years ago is I buy me a binder, folder, kind of a little briefcasey like thing, and it's expandable. It opens up like this. I get me a set of cool little manila folders, and I divide everything up in such a way that I can find everything, and I file it. So my conference materials, general conference materials, are usually in the front, and then I divide everything by content, class-wise. The materials and the workshops that we go to, the things that we get, I divide it by the class. I teach 3 preps this year. I have fashion design, human services, and lifetime nutrition. So anything that pertains to those 3 classes, I will put in a separate folder. I also sponsor TAFE, Texas Association of Future Educators, and FCCLA, Family Career Community Leaders of America. So anything that goes respectively to those organizations, I'll file them separately. And then anything that they tell us about ordering materials, I have a folder for everything. And that helps me to use it during the school year and it not just be tucked away and forgotten, because we get so much good information at the conference. So I was going to give you that little tip there. The next thing I'm going to show you is how I utilize Twitter for my classroom and to keep in touch with my peers, and also how I use YouTube. So what I'd like to show you first is my Twitter account, and I'm just going to scroll down and let you see some of the tweets that I've made in the past. I do make tweets individually to classes. So in other words, if any of my students are on my Twitter account, and this is not my personal Twitter, this is for school only, and I do not follow my students. My students only follow the classroom Twitter. Okay, so for instance, on human services, I made a note this morning that they're working on the study guide to take Leo test. The FCCLA region is going to be an awesome experience, and we are all going to, when we go, the students are all going to take Leo tests. So I gave them a study guide this week, and I reminded them about working on it. In fashion design, they just got through sewing their first project, bacon potato bag. And so I put a little tickler there, great job on sewing your beginning project. And then lifetime nutrition, today was the day they're putting their 3-day food record into the food tracker at choosemyplate.gov. So I gave them a heads up on that. Anybody that follows my classroom Twitter, they just get a little heads up on what's coming in the class atmosphere quicker than everybody else. And if you don't have a Twitter, you're going to get the same information. You just be a little ahead if you are on the Twitter. I will also make comments to any of my peers in FCSTAT, anything that I need to communicate if you'll follow me on Twitter. And let me go ahead and tell you the address. It's a little FCS, capital REL, and then a little GOSS. And that's my Twitter name on Twitter. If you follow me, then you'll get FCSTAT updates from our region and our district. I also use it for FCCLA. So I'll make comments to FCCLA. Twitter lets you put up pictures. So this is a picture from yesterday. My students are baking, and yesterday they baked cookies and Rice Krispie treats. They're selling them at school today. So I just put it up, baking fresh homemade cookies for our fundraiser project, Yummy. And so I encourage the students and give them some feedback. I also Twitter things like I'll put sometimes all classes, If it's a current event that pertains to all my students, you'll see comments like all classes. Okay, and teacher tidbits. I ran across a website, FCS Ideas from Utah Educational Network. They have some pretty good lesson plans there, and I put the website. So you may see some Twitter comments that said teacher tidbits, and that's written specifically to teachers. Fundraising ideas, and we'll put links on there to fundraising ideas. Let's see who else. Fashion design. Fashion design pictures, and I'll go run across YouTubes that I use as instructional videos in the YouTube, and that'll be in there. Since I brought up YouTube, I'll go ahead and bring you to my YouTube account. I make instructional videos instead of having to say the same things over and over again. And I'm just going to turn this on and let you see just a few seconds of it. Okay, this is an instructional video on some basic tools on how to make yo-yos. And yo-yos are fabric circles. It's a turn-of-the-century technique that was used in about the 1920s in America to quilt together pieces of fabric. Okay, that's just a short clip. Yo-yos is one of my fashion design projects before they ever get on a sewing machine. I'll let them sew a little bit by hand. That way I don't have to thread needles and make knots at the end of thread. But instead of having to say it over and over to several classes, I use YouTube, make videos, upload them, and then I show them to the students. And they can watch them on their own time. So anyway, that's just a little introduction about myself, and tell you that I'm very excited to serve as a board member this year. And I know I have a lot to learn, but I will be leaving tomorrow and going to the board meeting, and I'll do my best to Twitter information. I'm going to put this video up on YouTube here in just a little while, and I believe I have email addresses for those in my district, in my region, and so I'll send you an email, and hopefully we can stay connected. And if you need anything, just email me. I'm going to also email you my phone number, my cell phone number. So if there's something, I know this is a short notice, the board meeting is tomorrow, but if there's something that you wanted addressed at the board meeting tomorrow, I'll be glad to do that. And I'm going to cut it short because that's my bell to go to class. Thank you very much, and we will talk soon.